So, let's jump right into the action. Today's daily challenge. We have traditional Umbra, traditional Hellhorned, but our champion will be randomly replaced by one that is not from these clans. So we could get anyone from Sentient, Wildenton, Soulguard, Tethys, Little Fade, or Ragdoll Flicker. We'll have to see which one it's gonna be. We also have Dante's Comedy, so we start with Dante the Deceptive and 3 Dante's Candles. And we have Moth Magic. Whenever a damage spell hits a unit, ascend it. So that's looks like a very powerful daily. But the scores are a bit less crazy than the last few times I played. We have most scores at around 50k here, one at almost 53k, and a few below in the top 10. Yeah, torches are always a great starting card with Moth Magic because you immediately have some ascent at your disposal. Other than that, not much to say. Let's jump into the run and see what cards we get to play with. So, we are starting out with Immortal Trait, Fledgling Imp and Feast. Interesting set of starting cards. Fledgling Imp is particularly nice because we do have Dante. Also our champion is gonna be Ragdoll Flicker. How do we best use Ragdoll Flicker here? We could go with reforming the Fledgling Imps, maybe. That could be an okay way to scale. But we'll have to see. For our bosses, we have Daedalus with Damage Shield, Fel with Scorchers, and Seraph the Impatient. Okay. So, our relic. Oh, that's gonna be Queen's Tail. So if we wanna build around imps to buff Dante, that means we cannot really use Overstack that well. Otherwise we could use these torches to overstack our floors. Maybe dupe the Dante a few times and stack a bunch of Dantes on the same floor. That's far less interesting when we have Queen's Tail and are going for an imp deck. On the other hand, Temperate Talisman also makes it a little weaker because our torches are gonna deal more damage to our own units. I'll definitely go with Queen's Tail here. I think Queen's Tail is a very strong artifact because it gives you a draw and an ember when you play an imp, and it's not that hard usually to play an imp every turn. So let's see what's available. So Reform is not an option here. It's almost a shame. Now what could we do instead? Harvest can benefit from these imps, sure. The Harvest Ragdoll Flicker also has the benefit of not having Burnout. Burnout is a big deal in this clan combination because we have no way to deal with it. We can't extend Burnout, we can't reform. We are in the wrong clans for these kind of things. While Harvest still works pretty well. Harvest Ragdoll Flicker could be a good frontliner for Dante. That certainly could be a thing. And we could sacrifice Fledgling Imps on that floor. Burn Bright, on the other hand, would give us some time to set up Dante and buff him up before we actually have to kill stuff, because Burn Bright Rectal Flicker does it for does the job for us. So that could also be interesting. Stronger scaling, easier setup. Considering that we are most likely gonna scale Dante as our main way of, well, winning the game. I think we wanna go Burn Bright. Just so we have an easier time to set up and get Dante going. Mark of Invasion. It's not really the challenge I was hoping for, but we should be able to deal with it. It might mean that we have to set up on the top floor with both Dante and Rectal Flicker. What are the other options? We could kill one of these, set up the second floor and still kill everyone pretty easily. We would take 6 damage. 6 damage is equal to 12% score. So if we can prevent 12% score loss by setting up on the top, that's worth it. Because most likely we'll have a torch either on the first or second turn where the boss is available, so we can ascend them. On average, every hand we draw contains a bit less than 1 torch. So having 1 torch in 2 hands shouldn't be too much to ask. We could also set up the bottom floor. We would take 6 damage now and about 3 damage, maybe. Yeah, 2 to 4 damage next turn. That's even better in terms of score. But it does have a higher power requirement, basically. But we do have a lot of power. Dante is well protected behind the Rectal Flicker for now. And once Rectal Flicker burns out, we just need to play some... Just need to play some imps or train stewards. I could prevent 2 damage by torching. No. They still deal 9 damage. Hi Karas Divine, welcome. Did you decide to do yesterday's daily? Yeah, I want a collector. I am willing to take some damage here. Was too tired. Yeah. Okay, I can respect that. So we ascend Rectal Flicker so we can place a train steward here. Although both fledgling imps are in my last hand. So we might not have enough power to beat the boss. What happens? We could torch up the train steward to play another fledgling imp. Or even better, we torch the fledgling imp to play another fledgling imp. Ah, you started a challenge. Okay, I see. Today we are playing with Dante, it appears. So we took 10 damage here, but we also got the 3-turn boss rush, so that was overall not worth it. We should have set up on the top floor and prevented taking damage. Yeah, probably lost 100 points here that I didn't need to lose. Okay. Perils, Immortal Trail and Umbra Assault. What do I want? If it's Dante, is Ember Drain gonna be a thing? It might. True Rage is already pretty powerful on Dante. And we already have these Immortal Traits to heal up someone. We do have Moth magic, so Umbra Assault could be another Ascend. Morsels are probably not gonna be how we scale Dante. Rage is just so much better suited for that. I'm gonna go with Perils. Ritual of Battle. Yes, that's good. The only downside with that is that it's hard to play when we have Dante's Candles in hand. Also, if we wanna go Ember Drain at all, then we need holdover on the Perils. Otherwise, these Dante's Candles will deal way too much damage to us. I'm gonna go with the Ritual of Battle here. I need some way to scale Dante. And... yeah, we probably should go to the Merchant of Steel. Dante needs some upgrades. Large Stone, that's always nice to see. Horned Warrior Steelworker, not interested in those. The only Hellhorned unit I would really consider and probably instantly take is the Range Brute. Just plus 15, plus 40. That will easily carry us through the first few fights. And I think we want to start with a higher damage value on Dante. We could even reroll trying to go for another large upgrade. Or perhaps Rage. But I also want to look at this Merchant of Magic and perhaps find holdover. So we're gonna keep our spendings minimal here and just go with an attack upgrade. So we have Dante ready from the start. Haste enemies with extra attack. These are dealing a significant amount of damage. We do kind of need to protect Dante a bit. And Ragnar Flicker is the perfect way to achieve that. Because he will burn out anyway, so the damage doesn't really matter. Extra Ember next turn? Sure. We can't Ember Drain because we need to be able to play the Dante's Candles as they appear. I would love to Ritual of Battle, but I do want to get the Collector. Let's play the Shade Splitter. I shouldn't have done that. There's no point in keeping Ragnar alive. Well, luckily we have this torch to move him out of the way. There we go. Yeah, I agree. With the multi-strike on Dante, plus 10 attack is pretty powerful already. I am interested in this Umbra Assault as a Ascent card. Not so interested in any of the others here. Sadly, the immortal traits are pretty bad with Dante. You can heal him up to full, but he's always gonna shred that lifesteal with his multi-strike. Because every attack consumes a point of lifesteal. Hidden Passage is an Ascent card that doesn't deal damage. Hornbreak is an Ascent card that deals damage. Are we interested in either of those? To some degree. We already have these torches. They basically can do most of what Hidden Passage and Hornbreak can do. Molding him, I don't think is gonna be something we're interested in right now. Even though we have the Queen's Tail, so maybe we should be interested in it. Yeah, honestly, it's not that bad. And we do already have 4 damage spells in the deck. In a deck of 23 cards. Let's go Molting Imp. Skip. And well, the dupe is certainly tempting, but I think I want to go to the right here. try to find holdover for the perils of production, which will solve a lot of our potential Ember issues. No. Let's go to the concealed caverns next before we decide what to do with the remaining gold. Ooh, fissure in the eyes. Dupe 5 times. Do we want 5 additional candles? There's a small problem with that, and 5 Dantes? I don't think we want 5 Dantes. Maybe we would want 2 Dantes, but not 5. Hi, Katira. Yeah, candles are good. Yeah, I'll take the candles. These allow us to scale our Dante much faster. But now we really need cost reductions on Ritual of Battle. I don't want the magic power and consume upgrade on a damage spell, and I want cost reductions. We are gonna spend a lot of Ember on these candles. I don't even want to double stack the Ritual of Battle at this point. I just want it to be 1 cost. A pretty hot run with all the candles, indeed. So, because we have the ability to ascend the boss whenever we want to, that is something I wanna abuse. I think this first turn is mostly set up. I don't wanna... Wait. How much damage is this? That would be 450 minus 18, so we are... We do have the kill. We do have the kill on the first turn. I should have mathed it out beforehand, but I was so certain it's not gonna be enough. So we are 18 damage short with just Dante. Molting him to draw the card. 18 damage short with just Dante. Well, luckily we don't have to do it with just Dante. And yes, we take 3 damage, but 1 turn earlier kill is 10%. 3 damage is only 6%. Oh. I would have liked to not take damage there, but that wasn't really an option. Alloy of the Ancients, Umbra Stone, One Horn's Tome. One Horn's Tome is a no-go. We are scaling in a way that is very bad for One Horn's Tome. We want attack, not multi-strike. We already have 8 multi-strike. Umbra Stone, Trample. We don't need Trample that much, but it could still be a decent damage increase against flying bosses if units are in front of Dante. So that's something to consider. Alloy of the Ancients, Armor. That might be necessary later on. But we do have Imps, we do have Immortal traits, we have some defensive measures that might be better than Alloy of the Ancients. Umbra Stone is 2 cost, which is also a bit annoying. Alloy of the Ancients is a very good defensive card though. It wouldn't be terrible to pick it. I think I skip. Draw. I think draw is the answer. We need a higher density of rage and ascend. if we want to be successful. Draw is also a risk because the chance that we have more candles in hand than amber available increases. But I still think it's worth it here. Ursul's Hoard, there are a lot of artifacts that could help us immensely. Improved Firebox could be one of them. Although our first turn is usually not the one where we need that much amber. But that could change. How about Winged Indulgence? Probably not necessary at all. Remove some cards. Shade Splitters are not that great, but I think they are still better than Train Stewards. Torches are very good, and the Immortal Traits are also worth it, I think. So let's cut 2 Train Stewards here. I'm a bit wary of cutting too many cards, because there's always the risk that we draw a hand with more than 3 candles. Spikes. We might have to use our lifesteal efficiently to keep Dante healthy. I would like to play a Molting Imp on the bottom floor. That would mean we have to set up on the top floor, which is not what I want. So I will play the Molting Imp on a different floor. It's too early for the Fledgling. We'll just have to redraw into it later. We have 3 amber this turn. 2 of them have to go towards these candles. So that leaves us with the option to play either on Umbra Assault or Train Steward to kill the Collector. It's gotta be Train Steward to get it out of the deck for now. Okay, no candles this hand. I could start doing Amber Drain stuff. I do have the Perils of Production. I think I do want to heal up Dante this turn. Maybe even again next turn. And then I might as well Perils to give him some rage. And in this case I could just ascend the Rector Flicker so I can use a morsel, if that morsel is worth anything. And it is. Let's see what kind of morsel we get here. Another attack morsel, that's nice. And we do have the kill here. With just 1 damage taken by Dante. And we can instead let him heal up. Friendly units enter with armor 5. I think we take it. There's nothing wrong with that. Ember-Cache, Feast, Cannibalize. I do like this Ember-Cache because it helps us with the Ember management, even when we are in Ember Drain state. Tiresome Climb, Inferno, impressive. I don't think we want these, except maybe the Impressive could have a place in this deck. It does ascend the enemy we hit with it, so we would need to upgrade it with some spell damage. Is that what I want to do here? No, not really. I'll skip. So, removals, a Merchant of Magic versus a Relic. We could also roll for an Endless on a Fledgling Imp. on the left side. That would also be pretty nice. On the right side, we could buy some cost reductions for an Umbra Salt and Torch. We could potentially find Holdover for an Umbra Salt, so we would always have an Ascend available. Having Holdover seems to be a good thing, so we draw less candles, but we also draw the Ritual of Battle less frequently. Removals are good, but not that essential. Eventually I wanna get the Shade Splitters and the Train Stewards out, but I still worry about taking too many removals and ending up with too many candles in hand. So I think this is a good chance to go to the left here. Consume Crown versus Vapor Funnel. I don't think Vapor Funnel is necessary here. We will always have Dante in our opening hand, which is a ton of damage. Consume Crown is a pretty high damage increase on Dante. I could get damage shield on a Fledgling Imp, but I don't think that's necessary. Let's reroll, hoping for Endless. Did not get it. That's fine. We move on. Go to the Merchant of Trinkets with all our gold and get a nice set of trinkets to boost Dante's power a bit. We set up like this. Train Steward on the top floor. And I don't think we mortal trade anything. Yeah, definitely not. Is it already time to move Rector Flicker out of the way? We do have the Ritual of Battle, we do have an Imp to block, I think so. That means we Torch, then Rector Flicker gets the Collector. Play the Imp. Play the Candle and the Ritual of Battle, and obviously we Ember Cache. No reason not to. I think we start out with an Imp for the extra draw. We don't need to perils, there are still 3 candles, well, 3 candles, we can deal with 3 candles. I am gonna keep this Imp in the deck. Just in case we need a blocker later on. We replace this Imp with some morsels. Yeah, damage shield is nice. I also want to see what else is available here. This morsel... Oh, I should have used the damage shield morsel in front. Wait, this morsel also has 6 health. Somehow... Well, never mind. I just didn't pay attention to the health values there, but it's fine. And an easy victory again, with Dante killing the enemy boss in the first turn. Gem Trove, Cannibalize, Engine Upgrade. I think this is a hard pass. Although we do have this Train Steward standing around, so Cannibalize could be used, but I don't think we want it. Enflame, Branding Right, Impressive. Branding Right ascends the unit, so we probably don't want that. Enflame on the other hand seems good. It's some rage, it's some armor. Not a huge deal, but some nice stats. And I mean, 4 rage on Dante is 72 damage, so... Let's see what's on offer. I will take a Scorching Restraint. Oh, Pyrestone Housing. Where are we gonna get our final upgrade on Dante? Most likely here. Maybe even there. Collection of Tales. Pyre Wall. I really want the Pyre Wall. That means I can just not play some candles. And that gives me a huge amount of extra Ember. Pyro Wall is basically gain 5 Ember over the course of the fight. Do we also want Collection of Tales? I think so. We start out with Rage, so we have Rage Decay from turn 1 out, and we don't get to that high levels of Rage compared to Flying Boss health. So I will take it. Train Stewards or Shade Splitters? I think it's time to cut some Shade Splitters. Yes. With the Pyro Wall, I'm much less worried about us being threatened by a handful of candles. This fight is a bit weird. We do have to pay attention to the Absolvers. I think we set up Dante on the bottom floor as a start, and then instead of ascending Fel, we ascend Dante if we need the damage higher up. Now the question is, do we want to apply some Rage immediately, or do we want to have Rector Flicker take care of the Alabaster Guardian immediately? Rector Flicker provides us with... Well, if we play the Fledgling Imp, we have 40 times 9, so 2 hits, 1 hit, 1 hit, and then we deal 200 damage to Fel. With Rector Flicker instead, we deal 1 hit, and then 7 times, so Rector Flicker is more damage this turn, but Fledgling Imp is more damage in future turns. We do play the Candle. We could even ascend the Fledgling Imp and play the Rector Flicker, which is optimizing the damage we deal this turn. I like it. When a damage spell hits a unit, ascend it. Huh? What happened? Why didn't the imp go up? Okay, I need to do some testing here. Can we ascend Dante? We can't. Is Moth magic broken and doesn't it work on armor? I am thoroughly confused. If Moth magic doesn't work on armor, then we need Dante to take some damage so we can actually ascend him. That might mean we have to play the imp behind Dante instead of tanking the damage. We need the armor to be gone. That makes Scorched Steel a terrible pickup. Maybe it needs to actually do damage. Yes, a damage spell that hits for 0 doesn't ascend, as far as I know. But a damage spell that hits for damage against armor should still ascend. And I'm pretty sure it used to work that way in the past. I will definitely write a bug report about this. So let's see what happens if we buff Dante up this turn and then ascend him at a later time. I guess our best target for Torch then becomes this enemy, but then we are only taking 1 damage, so the armor isn't gone yet. We can't ascend Dante freely. At least if it works like that, which we currently have no proof for. Let's find out. This is an issue. Okay, so apparently we took on a huge downside with that scorched steel. That means we can't even torch this Quill Marksman because we need the armor gone. It's as simple as that. We can't have armor on Dante. That means the best target for torch becomes this statue. Now it works, so it has to be the armor. Do want the extra rage from that. And this bottom floor can just be there. Yeah, this is an issue. Can we get the kill this turn is the question. I don't think so, because the Alabaster Guardian is in the way. We do have the Pyre Wall, so we can take all that damage. That's not the problem. That means we should just burn out the Ultimate Penance, because we can draw back into that otherwise. And this turn we don't have enough Ascend. Yeah, we would have had the kill here if it weren't for that torch bug. I wonder if we can find another way to deal some extra damage, but I don't see one at the moment. I do see one. But it's not enough. It's not 71 damage. Okay, that's very annoying. How much health is left on our Pyre Wall? Only 6. We do need to get the kill next turn. Is there a torch left in the deck? There is not. So we do have to Ascend Fell this turn. And hope he goes to the top. Which he does. Very nice. Well, she. Now the only problem is we only have 3 health left on our Pyre Wall, so we will take damage. So we lost 2 turns and 2 damage to this single relic. I kinda wanna redo this and try to see if there's another way. Because I was definitely assuming that Moth magic works independent of whether or not your units have armor. I don't think we can find a better start than Dante Fletchling Imp. What we could do is ascend the Absolver. But then we don't get the kill on the Absolver. That would deny us a draw. And that's a problem. We can kill the Quill Marksman. Ah, this is infuriating. I don't think we can find a better way to do this. Yeah, this is pretty much the only... I could find a few more points of damage by playing the Rubble Morsel on this floor and the Train Steward as well before ascending Dante. There would be an additional 17 damage. I don't think that makes the difference in the end. Wait, why does Dante have armor now? Huh? Didn't I get rid of that in the first fight? Ah, I gave him armor with the... yeah. Well, there is one more possibility. If we can kill Fel on the top floor anyways, we could stay on the middle floor. It's just the problem with that then becomes the fact that there will be units in our way. But in theory, the middle floor is the nicer place to be. Ah yeah, I forgot I wanted to play some units there. I wouldn't try so hard. I could start on the middle floor and ascend Fel. That's true. In the end, I'm gonna be dealing with some Scorchers anyways. But isn't it just better to deal with the Scorchers with the... I mean... Okay, I wanna try it out. I don't think it will be optimal. But it could be. I really want to find a way to not lose my score to this bug. If that's at all possible. Well, the problem is the same. In that I can't ascend my units. So I at very least can't overstack this floor. And now I also can't ascend Dante. Yeah, even the preview shows it correctly. Like, shows how it is currently working, not how it should work. And maybe we can get the kill next turn. If Fell goes to the bottom floor, that should be possible. Okay, so this turned out to be the correct play then. Oh, well, that was quite the frustrating fight. Transcend Imp is very good. Okay, what do we want? More draw is always good because a lot of our draw is being taken by these candles. I wish there was a way to sell a relic, because that's what I would like to do right now. Yeah, we need some spell upgrades. So Reform was not offered at all. Let's take a look at the Merchant of Magic. Permafrost, that could be good. Trap Shoot. That gives us a way of descending units. Is that interesting for us? Generally, Ascend is better. Especially as we usually want to set up on the top floor and then ascend the boss to the top floor every turn. And the hook seems too expensive for what it does. If we could get rid of the dazed on the trap shoots, then it would be worth a consideration because we could use it to descend our own units. Let's go with the Umbra Assault first. We could reroll for another cost reduction, and I'm kind of tempted to do that. Because these cost reductions are important. I still have this Feast in the deck for no reason. Is it time to purge the Shade Splitter? Yeah. Enemy units enter with armor 20? Sure, that won't make a big difference. Here we are not so much worried about scaling Dante as early as possible, so we don't need to play this Fledgling Imp quite yet. How does it work on enemies? The same. Armor also prevents Moth magic against enemies. That's very interesting. I can't well, I do have a lot of ammo to spend actually. So I can keep the imp in the deck. Well, I mean, This already kills the Collector. I don't need to Umbra Assault, but I do want to. Lifesteal Mortars. Those would be kind of nice. But I don't really have a use for them right now. Don't think we need the Molding Imp anymore. And we don't need Lifesteal at the moment. Then again, we already have Ember Drain 3, so... But it would just be wasted. We have some for the next turn, that's fine. Or do I play a Train Steward to block some damage? I think I prefer the Train Steward. Keep the armor on Dante. Transcend Imp. That's not the imp I wanted to see as the first one. Mortars make for better blockers. I want a damage shield. Yes. Damage shield does work well with armor after all. I also have lifesteal, so in the end it doesn't really matter. Do wanna play these imps. And obviously the Ritual of Battle. And against this boss, things are pretty easy. Engine upgrade, Shroud Mitosis, Gem Trove. Skip. None of these are interesting to us. Is Imp in a Box good? Imp in a Box can be good. Pyre Jumper is pretty nice. Do we have any good consume cards? Ember Cache is okay. We have a Transcend Imp as well. I'll take an Imp in a Box. And then I think finally we want to go to the left for the Duke. Impsicle, no. Maybe Impsicle. If we just had a good way of getting rid of these imps. Don't think Impsicle is what we want. Forever Flame makes the imps free. That might make a difference, to be honest. I think Ritual of Battle is our best scaling element. Let's make the Transcend Imp endless. And then I think we do take the Forever Flame. And then we obviously aim for let's say a 6-turn boss rush. That should be realistic. Considering how difficult it is to ascend our own units, unless I play Dante on the bottom floor and don't block the hit with Rector Flicker, that could work. I guess I should do that. I just need to make sure Dante doesn't die. This causes Dante to die, but I can block the first hit with the Transcend Imp. Now if I play the Molding Imp here, Dante won't lose the armor and we can't have that. I can also can't Immortal Trade this turn. Do I keep the Molding Imp in the deck? I think so. Might be helpful on getting past the wave later on. Maybe I should have played the Molting Imp though. So we kill at least the Shade Wings this way. I want this Train Steward to get removed. Okay, this is fine. We do have a lot of health buffering here. But we don't have room for imps. Still setting these up for later is a good idea. And maybe these imps on the bottom floor can actually deal some significant... I put some armor on Dante. Why did I do that? Well, luckily it's not an issue here. Because we can torch and Umbra Assault, torch again, and also play Transcendent for the win. Dante 2 health, no problem. So, 7-turn boss rush. Was that what I said I was aiming for, or did I say I was aiming for a 6-turn? Well, we got a 7-turn, so that's at least on expectation. There seems to be a lot of fire on this train. Did it pass health inspection? Well, any less fire on this train and it didn't pass. It wouldn't pass the inspection. For hell. I said 6. Well, so I surpassed my expectations. Okay, that was a fun deck. Except for the Scorched Steel Moth Magic interaction, which was really frustrating. But we found a way around it. Yeah, just take a big Dante, put a lot of rage onto him, and dupe the candles for a large amount of multi-strike, and then manipulate the floors so you can hit flying bosses every turn. That usually gets the job done. 8 turn, 7 turn, 7 turn. That was very good. We did take some damage in some fights, like Daedalus and the first fight. Not that much even. I'm really glad I bought this Pyre Wall. We also didn't damage it with too many coins. But I think pretty much everything I bought was worth it. Except maybe the collection of tails. I'm not quite sure if that actually made a difference. I probably could have saved the money on the collection. I think the Forever Flame was even worth it. Although I'm not sure on that either. Because we did get a Pyre Jumper, so the Transcendent basically meant that the Forever Flame wasn't necessary. But we couldn't have known that. Yeah, that should put us at first place. With a 385 point lead over Sitzim. Let's take a look at their deck. They went with Harvest, which I can understand. I considered that as well. They did dupe Dante. Went for Ember and Draw. They did also pick up the Scorched Steel. Scorching Restraints, obviously. A Vulcan's Rail Spike with Consume removed. Okay. Also, Consume removed Ember Cache and Kindle. So it looks like they went for some kind of sick combo wombo, including the Rail Spike. They also picked up the Hidden Passage, which now that I know the interaction between Moth Magic and armor, well, I knew that before, and before it was different. Now that I know the interaction between Moth Magic and Armor is bugged, makes a lot of sense. Because you can ascend units no matter the situation with this. Otherwise I think that wasn't really worth it. They did not buy the Pyre Wall, and thus took 3 damage on the Seraph fight. Other than that, they performed pretty similarly. So yeah, they lost 540 points here. But then again, they saved about 220 or something points by not buying the Pyre Wall. Still, the Pyre Wall would have given them a better score. Might have made the difference. Probably not quite, but it would have been close. But overall, a somewhat similar deck to ours. Very similar upgrades also, with the Ritual of Battle and the Dante having the same upgrade. Pyre Wall is worth it most of the time. It depends on how consistently you can prevent yourself from taking damage. This guy went all out. He not only duped the Candle 5 times, he also duped Dante 3 times. So he visited every Hellhorned available, I think. Obviously, he took capacity, so he could actually place all those Dantes. He did hold over Immortal Trade, Permafrosted, which makes sense, but once he took Petrified Heart, he probably should have removed those. He kept the Feast and these Immortal Trades over something like Train Stewards and Shade Splitters, which I think is wrong. 2 Alloys of the Ancient? Okay. Wasn't so fast on the flying bosses, but still a solid deck. Slightly different strategy. Anyways, that was an interesting daily. Yeah. I like Moth Magic a lot. It's really powerful, in not only in terms of score with the flying bosses, but it can also do some interesting stuff in other situations. I wish there was a Moth Magic Expert Challenge. As far as I know, there's none. No, that's Levity. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be a Moth Magic Expert Challenge. Maybe they will add one in a later patch.